My name is Wendy Wildfeuer. I'm one of the co-founders with Motom. We are a social commerce company that enables any brand retailer to operationalize creative commerce. So you may have heard of the Support Storefront program. That's us behind the scenes. And I'm very, very excited to talk today with these amazing leaders about what they're doing from a social commerce standpoint. Primary goal is no bullshit, real talk, real stuff. Right, so I'm gonna pass it. Well,
that
this is my mic.
picked up by
I can share. Okay.
so
The loner.
moderator needs that.
Hi everyone, Daniel
Say hi.
from
Where are you
from Yeti. I let the hat do all the talking. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm MacKenzie, McCarver. I lead social media and influencers at Sam's Club.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine Duca, and I'm the Director of CRM and Loyalty at Pizza Hut.
All right. So first check, we're going to get a reality check. So my first question for all of you in one sentence or less, share what you're doing right now from a social commerce standpoint, and keep it tactical, not like looking down the road, but right now.
Yeah, we're really active on TikTok Shop. We are active on Meta, kind of integrated checkout there too. We do a lot of creator seeding and white labeling and boosting and driving checkout that way. That's kind of our bread and butter. Yeah.
All right.
For Sam's Club, of course, we're active on TikTok, Meta, all of the different platforms. But what we're most excited about is we recently launched a creator platform that's really incredible and industry leading. We're so proud of it. So as we're building that creator community, we feel really passionate about how we can continue to accelerate. Sorry, that's not tactical, but it is what I'm really excited about.
That is a very big tactic.
Yes.
So coming from CRM and Loyalty, I'm not going to speak too closely on the social commerce side, but I would say just as a brand, I think overall, Pizza Hut is well known, but we're definitely going to come back, and that just means in all facets and how we integrate across marketing. I feel like that sounds really fluffy, so we're trying to land our brand tone of voice. Like, who are we right now?
And I actually think it's a really interesting idea that we have Jasmine. So more broadly, we have Yeti, Sam's Club, and Pizza Hut. So very different types of companies, different categories. And I think it's a really interesting thing to think through what the nuances are and what's the through line. So especially with Jasmine on being on the loyalty side, prep call, we talked a lot about how do you pull that through, right, from creator. So we'll get to that. So this is a question for all of you. So everyone here is generating real revenue from social commerce that's actually happening on or being governed by another platform. So how do you handle the challenges and the changes that may happen? Let's just say, TikTok Shop and TikTok in terms of obviously their instability of their future. So how do you manage that from a day-to-day and from a strategic standpoint?
Yeah, we try not to go too deep into any one direction. Some brands out there are built off one platform and they really, really do well there, but there's not a lot to do when that one platform stops working for you. So we really spread our efforts out across the social apps, just other marketing tactics as well. We've invested a lot in brand and authenticity and in the durability of our products and the stories behind our products, and that will take you a long way. The other thing too, just on the measurement side to make sure it's all working, we leaned really hard into incrementality starting last year. And when it comes to attribution and proof something's working, I would tell any marketer in our space, go all in on incrementality.
How are you measuring incrementality?
We work with a third party. I'll give them a shout out. They didn't ask for the Sling Wave. We've been working with them for a couple of years.
They're not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. That was a freebie, but they're really great. They've helped us. I'm not the math expert. I'm not the incrementality philosopher, but they are. So we just model everything out through a lot of testing, a lot of modeling, and we're not looking too hard at platform or last click anymore at all.
Very cool. How about you?
As far as really driving results, the creator economy is so, at this point, tried and true. So it's what are we looking at not only from revenue and how we're driving sales, but we're also thinking about how are we driving participation. We're a membership model. We're asking people to come join us every single day to even walk in the doors to shop our club. So how are we driving broader engagement with the brand? We're looking at all of those metrics. And it's a really great way to think about, again, a community and joining us, which is what a creator economy really is about.
And I would say on our side, our focus has really been on our partnerships and really, I mean, we've seen Pizza Hut sponsor big things throughout the years, but now it's really getting tight on what is the experience that we're trying to provide and how do we grow that experience so folks at home care about what's happening at a brand activation. Like, how do you make someone at home care about what you're doing at Super Bowl? So we're really trying to tighten our viewpoint on that and make sure that we are scaling. Like, these investments are scalable because they're quite large.
And when we think about right now what's happening in the space, social commerce is no longer a test. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Right. So it's a business decision. So there's lots, that tequila shot. Holy shit.
It's a tequila shop.
Joe, I'm just kidding. I'm not drunk. But what I was saying is, I'm going to go to the next question. Sam's has a membership model that shapes everything. We talked a lot about this,
Yeah.
MacKenzie.
Yes.
And you've applied that same logic to creators.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does that look like in practice?
Sure.
Philosophy, yes, but mechanics. Like,
Yeah.
what are the mechanics of getting that done?
Yeah, so what's really exciting when you think about the membership model is that the opt-in of it all, like, I think that's often a barrier for marketers, but for us, we think of it as an opportunity because what we have to offer is incredible. When you think about the differentiated merchandise, the curated collections, when you walk into our club, the work that we have done to remove things from food with our Made Without Promise for Members mark, when you think about all of those things, it really is an opportunity. So we're super, super excited, and we see the joy from creators every single day when they're building content, when they're talking about our products. I mean, we recently invited a few of our creators to our year beginning meeting, which was really exciting for them. They got to kind of get a behind the scenes, early access preview for all this things. And what happened is that we started getting people reaching out saying, how do I be a part of that? And it's, you know, we're of course helping our top creators get access, but that access then allows for more access. So it really is about opting in and looking at that as an opportunity.
Amazing. This is first for Daniel. Sorry, don't screw it up, Daniel. Okay.
I'll try.
And then it's for everybody. So Yeti is running an ambassador program, and you've been doing this since before the term influencer was coined.
Yeah.
So what creator tier actually drives commerce versus awareness, and what's changed for that over the last few years?
Absolutely. So yeah, Yeti was started 20 years ago, Dripping Springs, right over there by the Cedar Brothers. The original strategy, which is still there today, is very, very ambassador led. Loved hearing from Howler Bros. Really aligned brand. A lot of former Yetisons are at Howler Bros. And helped make it happen. That philosophy has maintained all the way to today. So at first it was like some of the most legendary fishermen like Flip Pallet or JT Van Zant, who are still working with us today, although Flip passed away last year. Rest in peace, Flip. And all about, these are the most durable, toughest products for the wild you can possibly buy. So if these guys are saying this is the best, it must be the best. That hasn't changed at all. Over the last couple of years, we've expanded into creator-led communities, much more people who are active on social media. To the point of awareness versus commerce, it's got to do both. If it just, I know a common theme I've heard in a lot of the panels today, which I fully agree with, if it just sells a lot of product, and it just looks like, wow, we sold 100 coolers off that one person's post, it doesn't get us that excited at all. We don't really even talk about that kind of stuff. If someone's building long-term, continual energy for us, and bringing people back all the time, and they're carrying that authenticity that says, if this bag will last you the rest of your life, this cooler is going to last you, it can fall off a cliff, you're still going to be able to use it. Now we're talking. And then balancing that together has been the formula since day one. It's formula today.
I'm throwing a curveball question at you.
Throw it.
So you're Yeti.
I'm Daniel, but
I mean, you're Daniel, not Yeti. But how do you,
Sorry.
okay, so that's great for Yeti because Yeti is an incredible brand. How does, I mean, everybody in this room is somewhere on the journey with social commerce. You either haven't done it yet and you're trying to figure it out, or you're invested and you're trying to figure it out. So how does someone that at a non-Yeti renowned brand take charge and start to think about how to activate their creators to drive revenue?
absolutely. And honestly,
And this question goes for the rest of you.
Oh yeah, so I'll pass it over soon. But sometimes at legacy brands, it's even harder to adopt things like social commerce too. So just because we're Yeti doesn't mean turning on TikTok Shop is an overnight decision or things like that. These tools are not rocket science though. So dip your toes in the water, get your TikTok Shop active. Obviously on Shopify, it's a little bit easier on the technology side, the integration. Get your Meta Shop active. Just try it out. Get some stuff out there. Go break something. See how it works for you. Reach out. We can use TikTok One as their kind of like.
What about not with TikTok?
We work with our, I will give them a shout out too, if that's okay. Backbone. We've worked with Backbone.
They are not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but these people are literally skiers in Carbondale, Colorado. They're not in the New York agency scene or the LA agency scene or anything like that. These are ski bums and mountain climbers. Shout out Pearl. She's here too. It's kind of like Pearl would work at Backbone. They've been with us for probably 15 years. Our longest standing relationship. They're doing our creator outreach with us. So we're always like, if Backbone likes them, we like them. This is a pretty small agency. They would probably love to hear me singing their praises here, but we love them.
Psyched, yeah.
They feel like they work at Yeti with us. And we just send a lot of product to a lot of people we trust and love.
Gifting.
We get a lot of
is
gifting
very
feeding,
important.
and then we start seeing where the energy is kind of rising, who we trust, who we like. The last point I'll say here, last summer, our tote bag went really, really viral. Virality is not something we chase. We're not in it to be viral. We're in it for long-term growth, as I said. But we had sent the tote bag to a few people in the athletic space who started showing off their workouts. A couple of former collegiate soccer players were posting their soccer routine with the Camino bag. And then all of the sudden, some moms in Bozeman, Montana were like, hey, we want the bag. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. You fish. You live a very outdoor lifestyle. They started comparing it to all the other bags in the market and we're like, this is the bag. That started getting millions and millions and millions of views, which again, we were not asking for or certainly looking for the bag. And it was, the bag's called the Camino. It was Camino Mania all summer. So it can be that easy, and not everything happens that way, but that was a pretty organic effort and not really on our roadmap. And then gratefully, we've leaned into that bag a lot more now. And now it's a much more at the forefront of our product line and found a spot for it.
Right. So the idea is being able to pivot.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, can I pull on that thread a little bit? Because
Pull it.
Cool. I loved how you were showing the results. And I think for me, it comes back to, although not social commerce directly, but just our integrated brand team, really getting frameworks and pillars in place. So asking our questions, asking a few questions before we decide who we're going to go after or who we want to partner with. And if 3 of the 4 of those answers are yes, they align with our brand, then we'll go after it and kind of a testing strategy and just kind of having that diligence when you're deciding who to partner with, but the rigor around it, I think is kind of what you're pulling on when it leads to results. I was afraid that was poop. I'm so sorry.
The birds really like Daniel is really what we know about this panel. So as we're thinking about who we partner with, again, we're really lucky. We are a legacy brand. I mean, we've been around for over 40 years. We're part of Walmart Inc. And we're really proud of that relationship, but we're also very proud of the history we have as a Maverick brand. We started because Sam Walton saw an opportunity to better serve small businesses. That's how we view creators. They are small business owners. They're people who are making income for their families. And we want to honor that legacy and treat them with respect. And so as we select creators, we're both selecting them because of the content and the quality of the relationship, but also we're really thinking about them as individual small businesses and how we can accelerate their growth in partnership with our growth. And that's equally as important as any of the other qualifiers.
I'm going to go out of order here, but go back to you.
All right.
So
They should have given us one more mic.
Yeah, there we go. But we talked about this before. Walmart is a very conservative company by design. Brand safe, mitigated risk. How do you actually get social commerce approved? And then what type of internal case do you need to build in order to make that happen?
Again, I'm so fortunate to be at Sam's Club, which is a really innovative arm and a really innovative place to be working. So we are so fortunate for the Walmart relationship. We're fortunate for our scale, for the brand equity that they have, for the incredibly smart people in the building and the incredibly smart partners that we have. We're really grateful. We are also incredibly fortunate to be able to go in and say, hey, we want to try something new. We want to test something. And Sam's can be that innovative arm. It's the Maverick spirit and the Walmart lingo that Sam's has. So to build the case to try something new is actually not that challenging when you position it in that way. Like, what can we test? What can we learn? And then not be afraid of the failure of it. I mean, it might not work, and that's okay. What you learn from it and how you execute on it next is equally as important as the first step.
So the KPI could be learning.
Yeah, the KPI could be learning. The KPI could be, let's see what we benchmark against what our Walmart creator did. Let's see what we learned from our meta ads, and we changed the content to be a little bit different, a little bit more social first. All of those things are really important. And if you can then set the benchmark to grow, that's really what the overall strategy is.
That's amazing. Jasmine,
Yes.
you're on your phone. No, I'm just kidding. I know you have
Right.
notes on there.
She was doing social commerce. Yeah. Something else.
So
Yeti accent.
you had told me when we spoke that Pizza Hut's launching a loyalty program,
Yes.
and the bird right there is really excited about it.
And I'm excited.
Yeah.
The bird's excited.
You're excited
We're
for the
all
bird to be
excited.
far away from you.
Yes.
But you're living, this question in real time. Walk us through the full chain, creator content to app downloads to loyalty signups.
Yeah. So as we think and like providing these full funnel experiences, partnering with the social team will be instrumental as of tomorrow. Like, shameless plug for March Madness and loyalty. But basically, during this time, during March Madness, Pizza Hut's a sponsor. That's great. But all CTAs point to the app. And that helps give attributable revenue to the social team, because we're able to track those clicks and those app downloads. So then they're really partnering with us on app acquisition. And then once they come into the funnel, that's where I get to continue to engage with them in the loyalty program and all the aspects that we're building within the loyalty program. But it's been really instrumental for us to find that connection in a way for the social team to be able to attribute revenue to what they're doing and build their cases as to, who they should go after, who we should partner with, and experiences. And so I think it's been really vital, and we'll continue to see it play out here in the next few weeks.
I think it's actually amazing what you guys are doing, because you're taking two different teams
Yeah.
and bringing them together, which is, I would say, for like in my world, one of the hardest things is to speak to the influencer team, who may not be speaking to the paid social team, who may
Yeah.
not be speaking to the performance marketing team, and then their influencer agency is like all the way over here. So I think that's a really important start. Come on, McKenzie,
Pull on
let's
the
hear
thread
it.
to
Let's
use your
hear it.
lingo.
Pull on the thread.
But what I often challenge my partners with is like, not talking to each other is not an acceptable answer.
No, I
Like, it's really not. Like, just walk across, pick up the phone. And so when we feel these silos, like, it is our responsibility as leadership in the organization to say, break them down, like, walk across the floor. It is okay to be like, hey, let's go chat. Let's talk about how to do this, because we're all better together. Also, this wind is killing me. Thank you.
And then Daniel, you're running paid search, paid social, TikTok shop, affiliate, and creator programs. And he's in a band on the side. When you look at the blended picture, do creator-driven commerce and paid acquisitions compete for budget, or do they compound?
Compound. Again, it's that idea of, if this isn't accomplishing the main mission of what we're here to do, which is tell an extraordinarily authentic story, sell gear that people believe in for life, and also drive revenue. We're a $2 billion publicly traded company. We are here to do good business. It's probably not the right fit for us. So if it's like, oh, this is going to drive brand, but I can't really tell if this is really going to drive business, doesn't really land far for us. And at the same time, if this is going to sell a lot of coolers, but I can't tell if this is good for awareness or brand or what. Not everything can do everything, but it has to all feel like it's part of a conjoined mission,
Okay, this is the audience participation portion. Dan Ryan, you better participate. Dan Ryan, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, a show of hands. Who sat in a meeting where you're trying to justify social commerce, and why the ROI looks different than paid search or another kind of acquisition-oriented KPI? You win the prize, you get a shot. And the rest of you are lying, or you're just being shy. But I'm just kidding. but it is a thing. You know, we work with marketers day in and day out, and they, you know, it's very hard to get new initiatives greenlit because the first question is, if I'm allocating resources in my company to something new, what's the measurable impact? And a lot of times you don't know that. That's why it goes back to when you said KPI is learning. So now this is the advice portion of the segment. So you're talking to a brand earlier in the journey. They're on LTK, TikTok Shop. They're generating some revenue, and they want to move towards something more owned and operated. What's the one thing you tell them to do first?
I mean, bring things more towards your own properties. Then we hear in the surfing, or kind of at least surf industry, we work really closely with John Florence. He's the best surfer in the world right now. He took a year off from the World Surf League to sail the world with his family and just film content. He's kind of different from like Kelly Slater in that respect. Kelly's way more competitive, still competing deep into his 40s. That guy's amazing. But John said, I'll take product, I'll film it with you guys. And then we've built John shops on our website. He can tell his stories. We'll put up links on the social platforms. But the way to own it more is, let's just tell John's story with John. Let's link it directly to our website. Let's have a landing experience that feels really authentic to what he's doing, with content from his sailing journey around the world, his favorite products that he's actively using, literally sailing his family all across the world. So he loves his French press. We did a huge campaign with him on that one. Own it. Just bring it to your own properties. Yeah.
It depends on the brand and what they're doing, to be honest. But what I'll say is that if somebody wants to take something owned, I would say put yourself in the creator's shoes. So if you're really thinking creator first, member first, if you want to be participatory in the way that you're building something, you should think about what their journey is. And you should answer the question, are you providing something unique and valuable to them? Or is it something that can be done on LTK and Rakuten and Mavely and all the great partners that are out there? Like, pause. Take a minute and say, is this the right thing for the creator? Because if it's only the right thing for the brand, this is a symbiotic relationship. It will not work.
Yeah, I think sort of just building on what Daniel was saying and what I've been kind of saying is just bringing it back to some type of owned place where you're able to be sure the attributable engagement or revenue, whatever your KPI is trackable within your channel. So it's looking. You gotta track it back to yourself. It's got to come to owned.
A point you both made that I really, really agree with is it's got to feel reciprocal. Everyone we work with, we lead. First of all, we always say don't have an agenda. Of like, if I'm going to start a long-term relationship, which we're looking for long-term relationships, it's just because we think these people are influential, cool, and carry that authority. Then we ask, what can we do for you? And for maybe even the first year, we're not so concerned in how fast this is scaling. You know, we're just like, this is an extraordinarily authentic partnership with a creator. We're giving them product. We're following their journey. We're like, oh, nice, you're doing this road trip across the country. Well, like, let's get you product for sure. If you want to start posting about it, post about it. The revenue will come. The revenue will come. But we always say, don't have an agenda. And the vibes get very good, very fast that way.
How do you handle, though, the revenue will come with leadership?
Just maybe a little agenda.
Yeah.
Maybe that could just be my personality. I'm all about the vibes, but I think you got to have some parameters in terms of when you're talking to leadership, and we've all been there where you're trying to make a case, and I can be like, it's the vibe, like they vibe, and then they're like, but what does that mean? And so
They don't know
then
how
I
to
have
vibe.
to say,
Is the answer.
I think we'll drive X amount of incremental, and then that's when they're like, okay, go for it, you know. So it's like a little agenda, maybe.
But also, I think that it's okay to like fail at the agenda too. You know, like you have to be really comfortable with failure on the creator economy space.
Yeah. No.
But when you're failing, because we all do, how do you manage up with the failure?
So one thing is, to be fair, that there's measurement too and all that. I bring finance to pretty much everything my team does, and I make them feel like they're culturally part of the marketing team, so they don't act like I don't really know what Daniel's team is up to. I guess they're paying all these people. I don't know what the ROI is. My finance team can explain what I'm doing when I'm not in the room. And when I hear about that happening, they're like, oh, it's all good. You know, Grant on finance totally explained how the program's working and the ROI behind it. I'm like, Hell yes. I don't have to be there to defend these programs because finance is so ingrained in my team. They come to team outings. They join our stand-up meetings. I want them to feel like this is not fake and this is real and tangible. And then again, a big unlock for us with leadership was incrementality, because that takes it away of like, well, on search you're getting whatever ROAS, and on affiliates you're getting that. So why would you? This TikTok doesn't have a ROAS. Once we got into holdout testing, and if I hadn't spent this, I wouldn't have made that. That became this very trustworthy playing field where they're like, I believe Daniel's allocating things in ways that are driving a long-term return because this kind of math is showing it. So that was a big unlock for us.
That's actually really smart. You're building trust with a team that holds the purse strings, or at least calculates what you're spending.
For sure.
Yeah, shout out Andy at Finance.
Yeah.
4 minutes. I have one more question, but before we do, does anybody have any questions in the room for these fantastic, smart people? Come on. MacKenzie, where are you? You have a question. Oh, the gentleman in the sunlight has a question.
What are your brands doing, or how are you approaching live shopping? Are you building? Are you getting ready, or still looking from the sidelines?
I could take that. So, yeah, so we've done a lot of testing and learning with live shopping. As everyone knows, Walmart has an incredible live shopping engine that they use. I think that you have to evaluate the cost of the live versus the expected outcome. What we typically see with lives is that the longer tail SEO value is much more important than the actual live itself. So you have to look at that overall and think of it as a holistic program that is more about the video asset itself and how that can drive success versus the immediate shopping moment. So kind of priming the pump and making sure that all of those things are aligned on up front with your leadership team, I think is really important. The other thing is that with the advent of TikTok Shop and their TikTok Live, I think that this is going to change. Like the production value of YouTube, the incredibly, the high production studio environments, those very, very polished environments. I think that with TikTok, we're going to see that change on the more macro retailer level. But right now, what we're seeing is that's more on a micro retailer level.
How's the impact of retail media impacting your social commerce strategies?
Oh my gosh, my map team is my best friend. I love them. No, we want to work with suppliers. We want to be able to ingest dollars and be good partners to them. We're thinking about different ways to operationalize and then commercialize social. I think it's really, really important. We are a house of brands. We sell many, many brands within a Sam's Club. And like I said, we're so excited to partner with retail media networks. Again, I guess shout out Harvey. Send him this clip. But no, we really are thinking about it holistically and then really being intentional about the commercialization strategy, because we also have a brand to own and defend as well. But we have to be good partners to those guys. We have to do this together.
Yeah, my world is .com and Amazon, so pretty much D2C owned commerce. But we're an omni-channel brand, so we have huge partnerships with Dick's Sporting Goods, Ace Hardware, Fanatics is a huge partner of us in the sports licensing space, and a lot of them have their own owned retailing network. And what we try to do is keep it really friendly. We try and make it. I guess I'm answering your question, not your question. I'll jump on the phone with Ace. I'll jump on the phone with Dick's Sporting Goods. I'll jump on the phone with Fanatics. We share as much learnings as we can without it feeling like complete D2C and wholesale crossover. We keep it very friendly, share learnings. If I have a video that's working, I love sending it to the team that's buying media with Dick's Sporting Goods and say, you guys take this quickly. We all win together when we can share learnings, and we get the most immediate data on D2C. So then it's about sharing that quickly with our wholesale partners and running it on Dick's Sporting Goods Media Network and running it on Amazon and running all over the place. Yeah.
So I think we're out of time. Thank you, everybody. And I think the biggest takeaway is just try to be bridging the gaps internally and pull your teams together, because you need all the different disparate groups, right, to work together to make social commerce operationalized. Thank you.
Thank you.